All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting the Unit 3 test review. So the first question, and there's going to be one similar to this on the test, kind of is a little bit of a review from our Unit 2 where we first learned about lines, points, lines, planes. It says, name a line parallel to EF. Okay, so most of you know what parallel means. So there's obviously several answers that could be true. So if EF is right here, BG could be one, and I might not write all the answers, but I might highlight them here. So BG is one, of course. AH, CD, right? All those lines there in red are going to be parallel with EF. Okay, and then number 2 says name a line perpendicular to EF. So perpendicular would intersect at 90 degrees, right? So one might be FD, and you could also have EC, right? Now, BA and GH at the front aren't going to work because they don't actually intersect the line, right? They would be, but they don't actually intersect. Now, there's another question we want to add because you may need to know this for the test. Name a line that is skew to EF. So skew might be something you don't quite remember, but it's two lines that are not parallel, not perpendicular, don't intersect, basically have nothing to do with each other, right? So I'll go to green here. That BA going up and down here, where am I at? Okay, green doesn't want to work. Is the pen not working now? All right, there was an edit there. So skew could be like BA. I don't know why it's not letting me go there. Right? Because BA going up and down is not going to intersect that line. They're not parallel, perpendicular. You could also have it there. So BA is one choice, but there's a lot here. Right? That's going to be skew. That's going to be skew. This line in the front's going to be skew. Pretty much anything that's not parallel, not perpendicular, not going to cross it, right? So you have some choices there. But remember skew, it's in your notes. Okay, don't forget about that. Okay, use the diagram to answer the questions. Name the corresponding angles. All right, so corresponding are going to be those that are in the same place, right? 1 and 5. 2 and 6. 3 and 7. 4 and 8. Name the alternate interior angles. That's going to be 3 and 6. Right? Alternate opposite sides of the transversal in between the two lines. Also 4 and 5. I don't have to erase those colors. You don't want to let me erase the original ones. This thing is always so fun. There we go. Okay. And then we have name the consecutive interior. Remember, consecutive is the same thing as same side, right? It means the same thing. So consecutive interior would be 3 and 5. Or 4 and 6. Alternate exterior angles, 7 and 2. 1 and 8. Okay. Make sure you know all those names, though, and where they would wind up on the picture and what they should equal, congruent or supplementary. Right? That's really the whole point of that, and that's what's most important. All right, number 4, what is the value of x? These angles are alternate exterior. Those are congruent. That means you set them equal. 3x plus 15 equals 105. Minus 15 equals 90. Divided by 3. X should equal 30. All right. Up to number 5. The figure is a trapezoid. What is the slope of the base of the trapezoid? So the bases on a trapezoid, even though we haven't covered these, right, are these two parallel lines here. Now, they are parallel, so they should be the same, but we can try it on both to test it. Here's a point on the line, here's a point. Looks like down 1 over 2. We have a point here, down 1 over 2. So it looks like a slope of negative 1/2. Remember also negative slopes go down from left to right, so you should know that's correct. Find the x-intercept and the y-intercept for each of the following. This is on your notes. It was a small little thing on the first blue page we put in on one of, I forget exactly what page in the spiral it is. And again, we may not see much of this, but it's a really simple idea. All right, so first plug a 0 in here. Okay, that goes away. Y is 6. So your y-intercept is at 0, 6. Then plug in 0 for y. 2x equals 6. Divide by 2x equals 3. So your x-intercept is 3, 0. Right? And that's all you're doing. Plugging in zeros, once for x, once for y. Right? Pretty simple idea. And so over here, 3 times 0 minus 4y equals 12. Negative 4y equals 12. Y equals negative 3. So y-intercept is 0, negative 3. And then do it again with y equals 0. So it's kind of hard to write with this thing at the moment, but it's fine. Right. Right. Simple idea, not too bad there. Find the value x, so another similar problem here to number 4. You have 4x and 100. These are same side, interior. They are supplementary. 4x plus 100 equals 180. Four x equals 80. X equals 20. Okay? Tell whether the following lines are parallel, perpendicular, or oblique. So they're in standard form, 9x minus 7y equals 6, so ax, by equals c. You're going to have to solve them to y equals mx plus b. It's algebra, but don't freak out. It's not difficult at all. Okay? So I'm going to label these so I can come down here and do each one. 9x minus 7y equals 6. Okay, 2 steps, guys. You're going to subtract 9x from itself here so it cancels out and winds up over there. Negative 7y equals 6 minus 9x. Divide negative 7 to everything. y equals negative 6 over 7 minus 9 divided by negative 7 plus 9/7 x. Okay? Then we have to do the same thing with 7x plus 9y equals negative 5. Minus 7x minus 7x. 9y equals negative 5 minus 7x. Step 2. Divide everything by 9. Y equals negative 5/9 minus 7 over 9x. So 9 over 7, negative 7 over 9. Those are opposite reciprocals. These are perpendicular. Okay? Let's see if I have some room for B here. You have x minus y equals 3. And that's a little easier. Minus x minus x. Negative y equals 3 minus x. Here you divide by a negative 1. And it really just changes the sign of everything. Negative 3 plus x. Over here you got 2x minus 2y equals 8. Minus 2x, not right there, yeah, right there. So negative 2y equals 8 minus 2x. Divide by negative 2 to everything. Y equals negative 4. That's a minus 2x divided by 2. And that's plus 1x. So you have a plus x there, plus x there. Those are the exact same thing. These are parallel. Okay? So that's the first page. It takes a little bit of work here because we're doing a lot of algebra and equation stuff, but not too bad. Right there, if we kind of zoom out, you kind of see the whole page. All right, so we'll move on to page 2. All right, here we are on page 2. Write an equation for a line through the point negative 4, 3, and parallel to y equals 1/2 x minus 1. So no matter which way you do it, there's two things you need to write in an equation. You need a point and a slope. Okay? The point is going to be negative 4, 3. The slope is going to be parallel to 1/2 x minus 1, so 1/2. This thing does not like writing curves and numbers. Wait, what was that? All right, enough of that awkward silence. Plug it into the equation. Y minus y sub 1, which is 3, equals slope 1/2 times x minus x sub 1. That becomes plus. These pens, man. Anyways, so 2 steps from here, right? Pretty simple. Distribute. Y minus 3 equals 1/2 x plus 1/2 of 4, that's just 2. Right? Step 1, plus 3 here. So that cancels. And y equals 1/2 x plus 5. Okay? Number 10, write an equation in slope-intercept form that passes through the point negative 3, 2 and is perpendicular. Okay? Point. What the heck do I keep hitting? Slope. Point is at negative 3, 2. Now, perpendicular to negative 1 over 5. We're not going to use that slope, but perpendicular would flip it and be positive. So positive 5 over 1. Right? Y minus y sub 1 equals slope times x minus x1. That becomes plus. Distribute y minus 2 equals 5x plus 15 plus 2 y equals 5x plus 17. And there you go. Alright, in the diagram above, AB is parallel to CD. The measure of x is 70. And the measure of y is 120. What is the measure of angle Z? Alright, so there's several ways we can go about trying to figure this out. One of the keys here, since you have parallel lines, these are transversals, right? So this 120 right here also gives you 120 here. And this transversal here with the 70 gives you 70 right here. Now, I know we haven't covered triangles, but hopefully most of you know that they're equal to 180. So if that's true, there's a couple things we can do here. There's a linear pair here of 120 and this angle, right? Well, 120 forms a linear pair with 60, right? That adds up to 180. Inside this triangle that's formed here at the top, you have 60 and 70, which is 130. 180 minus 130 gives you 50, which means this angle right here is 50. Z is a linear pair with 50. So 180 minus 50 is 130. It's not as difficult as it seems. It's just using a lot of things you should know and putting them together. Okay? I guess we'll put the 130 right here. In the figure below, AB is parallel to PQ. Solve for X. Kind of a similar deal here. Actually, no, it's not. I just take that back. It's much simpler than that. It's kind of a trick question. This is a linear pair. Doesn't matter if it keeps going or not. 180 minus 82. 98. Okay. Whoa. Write the equation that passes in slope intercept form that passes the line with the points negative 3, 5, and 2, negative 2. Point, slope. So here you have 2 points to choose from. You can choose either one because they're both part of the line. They'll both work. Here's what you got to figure out. Where do you get the slope from? Slope from 2 points. So we're going to make a mess. This point can give us x1, y1. This can give us x2, y2. If you remember slope from 2 points, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's plus a negative, that's plus plus. Negative 7/5. Yeah. So we have y minus -2 equals slope times x minus x sub 1. That becomes a plus. Running out of room here. Y plus 2 equals, we distribute this, -7/5 plus, because it's negative times negative, 14/5. You're going to subtract 2, so you have 14/5 minus 2/1. Multiply that by 5/5, you get that. So it should be 4/5. So your final equation should be y equals -7/5 x minus 4/5. Strange equation, but do the math, do it the right way, it works. 14, in the diagram angles ABE plus EBC. So let's look what they're talking about. ABE plus EBC, this angle, is equal to BCF plus FCD, so this angle. So let me step back here a second. This angle equals that angle. Which two lines are parallel or as a consequence? So think about what, if this kept going, and this kept going, and this was a transversal, those are alternate interior angles. So what two lines would be parallel? AB, even though it's not a full line, it's a ray in one direction, and CD. Name two lines that are parallel, state the justification. So what you're looking for here is that one of those 5 relationships exist, and then what two lines would that be? So for instance, number 1 says 2 and 13. 2 is here, 13 is here. In essence, for a second, we're ignoring this whole part of the picture, right? Because you're only looking at those two intersections for 2 and 13. That means this line and this line are the parallel, that's the transversal. So what's the parallel lines here for 2 and 13? It's going to be P and Q. And what's the justification? It would be alternate exterior angles. We didn't talk about this much, but if you want to prove lines are parallel, you have to prove that one of those 5 relationships does exist. And if it does, then there you go. Which lines are parallel for 10 and 15? Being congruent. So 10, 15. Ignore that. That's alternate interior. So these are the two lines now. So they're both inside, opposite sides. So the two lines parallel are M and N. And that's, whoa, what? Colorful. That's alternate interior. Which lines are parallel? If 4 is congruent to 15. Okay. So the parallel lines are going to be P and Q. And again, those are going to be alternate interior, exterior, outside the lines, right? Outside, outside, opposite sides. Which lines are parallel? Last question. If 14 and 15 are supplementary. So they're not equal, but 14 and 15 are going to add up to 180. Okay, so get rid of that. Here are the two parallel lines. You're inside. You're on the same side. So first of all, the parallel is going to be M and N. And that's going to be same side consecutive or same side interior. Alright, I hope that review helped. Page 1 and 2, look over that, take your notes, be ready for the test tomorrow. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and I'm going to give a free 100 on a practice grade to the best comment. That's not true at all. Have fun.